idea of artificial intelligence is would be a single machine which would talk to you as a human and then eventually rise up and try and kill you. And that's still, in many ways, the general idea of artificial intelligence.
We find ourselves in a world which is increasingly complex and increasingly weird. You know, every day you pick up the newspaper or you go onto the internet and you find something completely new has happened, which embodies trends and embodies technologies which didn't even exist 3 or 4 years ago. And many of us, in fact possibly most of us, have jobs that didn't exist 3 or 4 years ago. And so the world is really very confused. They're confused because there are certain core concepts that people aren't very sure about or don't see the connections between.
From an audience who've had a smartphone for more than a year, 90% of you will have felt your phone vibrating in your pocket when it wasn't. It's a medical condition, it's called a phantom vibration. 90% of you will have had it. 50% of you will have felt your phone vibrating in your pocket when you were holding it in your hand. Right? It's nothing to be ashamed about. This is what happens when you use technology a lot. It changes the way that you live with it.
For a future where we will be surrounded by technology which we cannot imagine. And this is for the first time in human existence. Just as an aside, there's a thing that people talk about, you know, in your pocket you have more computing power in your phone than NASA had to put a man on the moon. This radically changes the way that we have to live and survive. Now, of course, the people younger than the people in this room, the digital natives, Generation D, whatever you want to call them, the kids, they don't have a problem with this. They don't talk about innovation. They don't talk about the future. It's just a thing that they do. Kids who live in a world of sheets, of networks, where there are no hierarchies. People who didn't grow up with hierarchies have absolutely no concept of what a hierarchy is. And the people older than us who grew up solely with hierarchies have no concept of how a network could possibly work. The death of distance has created many different new forms of country. Countries which aren't based on how far it is from us to those guys over there, but new countries based on what you're interested in, on your culture, on your beliefs, on your principles. These new cultures might be religious. They might be based on a love of vampire novels. They might be based on being innovative or being open source programmers. But you have stronger ties now, I would say, to people of your interests around the world than you do with your neighbors.
And make it about quality, make it about beauty, make it about doing good, and don't make it about copying what was successful about the last guy.
You're not judging your success against Facebook or Google. They're playing a completely different game. You should be judging your success against what your grandchildren will say when they see what you left behind.